Hello, hello. Okay. In the description box is a link where you can read all the books of Herbert W. Armstrong for free online at Herbert W. Armstrong Library and Archives, or Searchable Library. I can't remember. It's either Library or Archives or Searchable Library. It like changed. I'll put a link in the description box. This is I've read many of his books, not all of them. Of course, Mr. Armstrong is the Elijah that prepares the way for the Lion of Judah, Haile Selassie the First of Ethiopia, who opened the seals, and Herbert Armstrong was the Elijah that prepared the way for that with his teachings. So there are things you outgrow. You only need it is to get you to a certain place and a certain level of knowledge of scriptures. Basically, he deals with what he calls the plain truth. So his book titles are things like the plain truth about this, the plain truth about that. And the plain truth, that you could call the name of his philosophy the plain truth. So who is Herbert Armstrong? He's an author. Today he's just an author. But at one point he was the leader of the Worldwide Church of God. And he had a radio show, and he had a magazine called The Plain Truth it's still in circulation today, I believe. I think all those things are still in circulation. But anyway, since the apostasy, there's been a whole variety of different opinions, including many Rastas like myself that see him as the Elijah that prepared the way. Of course, Marcus Garvey was not, knew exactly who Haile Selassie is, and knew exactly why a Rasta might be a Rasta. But still had plenty to do with it. Maybe that's who the two witnesses are in the Book of Revelations. I don't know. It says there'll be two witnesses. I'm not really sure what to think of that. But Herbert Armstrong we know that he believed he was the Elijah. He received an award to be the Elijah, and speaks of himself as the Elijah a lot. I'll leave a link in the description box for a whole playlist of different videos. He did videos and things. So we're talking about from the 1930s to the 80s. So this book right here, Who is the Beast? So that there's many things you might mean with the devil. By their fruits ye shall know them, is how you identify the regular people. Not sin, because nobody's perfect, but do they fit the description of the bad guy in the Bible? Which is like tattletales or talebearers, some Bible translations say. If you read Psalms and Proverbs, and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so that's one thing. Or do you mean the beast of Revelation? Or do you mean the devil? Or do you mean Satan? Or do you mean Lucifer? Because they all kind of have their own story, or the dragon, But this book is Who is the Beast? So it means who is the actual beast of, the 666 beast of. So of course 666 is the number of the beast. It's a bad translation. We know it's some number of 6, which is Tiferet and the Kabbalah. It's the self. So the point is that it's the narcissist epidemic. So in here, so basically one of the things that the Elijah does to prepare the way for Haile Selassie today as an author in this book and identifying who is the beast, so you can understand the book of Revelations, the apocalypse. Pardon me. One thing you can do, because are you going to go your whole life trying to understand the Bible enough that you don't need it anymore? Or are you willing to be humble enough to accept the help of Mr. Armstrong, especially in understanding something so complicated as the book of Revelations? I'm way thankful for this book, because the timing and everything. He believed that Haile Selassie was the king of the south. You had the king of the north and the king of the south. And the Italo-Ethiopian War. But anyway, so this all matches up, and today could only mean one thing, that Haile Selassie is the Lion of Judah. Who else would the Elijah prepare the way for? And who else is the Lion of Judah that could do all these things that you could chart it out? So you can look this up for free online. I'm not going to read it all, but yeah. So see, Daniel 2, the image, the head of gold mentioned in verse 32, 39. See that? Beast and arms of silver mentioned in verse 32 and 39. The belly and thighs of brass, verse 32 and 39. See? So it goes through all the things. See that? And identifies everything. So the beast has many heads and many horns, see? It's like the first horn, the second horn, the third horn, the fourth horn, see? The ram, goat, beast, see that? So this is just a chart in the middle of the book. You know, the book is what tells you what these things mean and stuff like that. It's a beautiful run through history. You'll love it, you know? Even if you just think this sounds interesting. Okay, so I turned the page. See, I turned the page, and then the other half of the chart's on the next page. See the horns. There's 8 horns. So you know, horn 3, 2, and 1 was on the other page. Remember. So what you do is you know, of course, you follow it across. See, because like on the end, it tells you what it is in real life. Like this is imperial restoration of empire by Justinian in 554 AD. He recognized supremacy of the Pope in the West. You know, so that's all these things. You know, it's the 4th horn. It's the first remaining 7 horns deadly wound that was healed and to continue for 260 years. It's the first head of the beast. It's the, see what I mean? Is all those things. Then the Frankish kingdom began 774. Charlemagne crowned by Pope AD 800. You know, is this horn and blah blah blah. See what I mean? So here I'll go back to the other page. Okay, see up here the events fulfilled in history: Chaldean Empire, the Persian, the Chaldean Empire. You know. Are those things, you know, on the top, right? Straight across. Wait, the first one is events fulfilled in history. Okay, Chaldean Empire is all of these things. See? Persian Empire, Greece, Roman Empire, the Vandals. See, because only the line of Judah can open the 7 seals. So who is the line of Judah? And then you have the chronology, so you'll know what things mean. Because, I mean, who are the riders of the horses? Well, only the Lion of Judah can open the seals. So it's not just what it talks about, but is it the line of Judah that's doing it? Or it isn't the one referred to. You know what I mean? You can't be it just because you say so. See, so anyway, you can look that up on Herbert W. Armstrong, searchablelibrary.com, and I'll leave a link in the description box, and you can read that book. Some other good ones on the book of Revelations, the Apocalypse. Read the book of Revelations Unveiled at Last, the Middle East and Prophecy. The Middle East and Prophecy is the one that talks about how Haile Selassie is the king of the south. And then Who is the Beast, this book. So you'd want to read all of those to hear how the Elijah prepares you to understand how it's Haile Selassie. Of course, that's Herbert Armstrong. There's Bob Marley. Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, where the real Ark of the Covenant is on Coronation Day.